I'm always somebody who says I have enough genetics and I have my keepers. But somehow, some way, somebody will have some dank and I want to keep it. And I also want it to come into my garden. So it's one of those things that I think people don't think about as much that we should discuss and dive a little deeper in.
Every gardener's bringing in new stuff, whether it's seed, whether it's clone. It's an adventure out there, and you want to be cautious, vigilant about taking in new genetics into your home. And I think it's a very important conversation to dive into today.
Yeah, I mean, you only want to take in the genetics. You don't want to take any problems that could be attached to it. You know, everything from pests to diseases. There's so much stuff that you can be brought in and really not just harm the plant that you brought in, but every other plant that you have growing in that grow space. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great conversation to kind of tap into that and then talk about what we do and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. And I've seen a lot of people who they're big on just a quick test for their plants. You know, the HLVD test is the key thing right now these days. People just say, that's all I'm concerned on. I just need to make sure I don't have plant aids and I'll be good. And there's companies like My Flora DNA or Toomey Genetics that has testing available. You can get kits and do it at home. However, it's not the only issue that you can get with some of these plants. A prime thing that people get more times than not, especially getting a clone from somebody, is something that already has powdery mildew or something that already has pests. And when you take these in, a lot of times introducing these genetics to your garden, you know, it's a starting point that people, I think, you're being shot in the foot and trying to win a race. So it makes people reconsider their approach most times, people being me primarily. I don't want to necessarily have these new genetics that I bring in. So my first time now bringing new genetics in is always from seed. I quit taking clones if I've never tried it before. I got to really like it, and it's got to be a clone of a cut that I know, you know? Otherwise, it's like, we're not in the day and age where I can't get that same genetic anymore, at least. And I'm just paranoid by it. I'd rather take a cut than a clone even, personally. Now, when you guys bring in new genetics, how do you decide if this is a new genetic to keep or if it's one that you're going to just, one and done it?
I mean, grow it out to the fullest and also be sure to, consume it. But what I want to do is clone it to kind of make sure that I have something on the side. So if I do get through the whole grow, I find out something I don't want to keep, well then, I'll just get rid of that clone. But if I do want to keep it, I have a clone that, I flowered out a plant, I consumed it. Well, at least now I got something else growing that particular pheno, right? Because we know when you're growing seed, every seed is a different pheno, could express differently, right? So even though it could be the same cross, you could grow something that's fire and then grow a plant right next to it that's trash. So there is that very difference there.
Well, and the tough part is I did the exact same thing, but you got to think it's 8 to 12 weeks for harvesting this plant. So that's vegging for 8 to 12 weeks, that plant is. So now you got a big-ass plant, and culling the herd is tough when you have such a large plant. It's like, you know what, I'm just going to flower this last one out and not clone it. But it's like, when you have so much amount of real estate, you honestly don't want to waste that time. In my opinion, I don't. So I try to take cuts, and then sometimes of that same plant, I'll take another cut, and I'll kill that one off. Just because it's like, man, I don't want to turn this into a mother plant. Look how big the plants are that you have. Those are massive, and you've consciously tried to make them not. They've had issues. They've had to bounce back, but they're still huge. So you may have to kill this massive plant, which is tough for a lot of people to do when you've put all that time into it. And if it's synthetic nutrients, all that money into it, it's difficult, Do you guys decide to cull the herd only after your second run, or is it that first run you harvest and you're like, done?
For me, it's usually the first run. I mean, there's so many genetics out there, tens of thousands of different strains, if not hundreds of thousands of different strains at this point, right? I'm quick to just move on. Personally, it's a personal preference, right? If I grow something, I don't like it whatsoever, I'm probably not going to try to grow it again, just because I had this long list of things and genetics in a box that I've been wanting to grow. You know what I mean? So what's next? Let me just move on. So yeah, I don't really give it much. Probably should, right? Like, just
pheno hunt more or something different.
Yeah, right. But me being a small home grower, my particular situation, I have a plant count limit. I can only grow 12 at a time. I'm usually just moving on, dude, and growing something else.
It's smart.
Very similar. I don't have time. I don't want to try to waste my time on something that's giving me a hard time, or if it's just something that, I've got if I've got too many clones, that's usually when I'm doing a big cull, is when I'm taking too many clones and they all rooted, which is great. And then I've just got to get rid of the ones that don't fit in the pot or in the tent. But for these particular ones, because it was our collaboration, I felt a duty to ensure that I kept them alive, because I had some issues too with burning. I overfed the plants. They burned, almost died, and if I would have just tossed them, and just started over, because I'm looking for something that's great. And if I don't have time to try to fall back to figure this out, to move on. So if I'm trying to find a good keeper, it's going to be something that's going to be, consistent. It's going to be good from the beginning to the end. And if it throws a left, I'm quick to just say, get out of here. Let's find something new. I'm not big on like tough grows for good smoke, because I can have a good grow and good smoke. I'll just do that instead.
It's very true. That's the tough part too. Is calling the herd is only once you've done it for a long time, because that big beautiful plant is very difficult to be like, all right, all the work I put in, I've trained
For
you,
sure.
I've done all this shit, I'm just gonna kill you. It's only once you've experienced doing that, and then be like, well, that still sucked. I did it again. Still sucked. Both times. Trash. And I really want to grow because of the yield, and because I tried it before, that Gorilla Cookies Auto again. But I don't, because it sucked last time. It's the same thing.
What didn't you like about it?
It was tap water terps. Tastes like nothing.
It's not your terp.
There was not even a terp. It was so bland. It was like you could hunt for it. Like, yeah, little something there, just not enough to even. And I had so much of it, so it was just such a letdown. Where I'm like, damn, I got 8 Z's of just water, 8 ounces of water.
Well, it's almost like growing a pepper, for example, and you don't really like the flavor of the pepper. Are you going to regrow it? No.
No, I'm
There's
going to get a different type.
Point, right? You're going to get a different pepper, different type that you like.
That's the thing is, it's tough when you look at phenotypes and we're being told, maybe it's not the right one. So it's like almost a gambler's mentality that I'm going to keep on putting in my coin, hoping that I get the right slot when I pull it, But realistically, it's like sometimes you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with moving on.
No. It's just sometimes look for maybe that lineage in a different genetic, a parent that maybe you look for that trait, like the GMO and 5 different types of crosses. You may find the one you really like. Sometimes it's not the one you're stuck on, because I've wasted years doing that. Pheno-hunting shit I shouldn't even wasted time on,
Calling the herd is a crucial part, a crucial part of trying to find great genetics, and it's a reality that you have to face, because you know what? You might bring in a new genetic that you're really excited about, and it doesn't work out. You got to call it.
This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.